What's up, everybody? It's Blake here at Trade Tracer. If you're interested in getting some signals, make sure you click the link in the description. Also, hit that like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get started with this weekend market update, get you set up for this week ahead. As you know, none of this is financial advice. Okay, so on Friday, it was a very important day because on the NASDAQ, which has been the leader, actually closed in what I would classify as a downtrend. And for me, a downtrend is a close below the 10 SMA, which is what this moving average is, and then another day closing below the candles low that broke that 10 SMA. So the NASDAQ actually closed in a downtrend. And if we pull up the 20-day SMA, it's actually the first time it's closed below this 20 MA since we started this massive uptrend back on April 6th. So since this was a very nice, strong, powerful uptrend, the momentum still is to the upside. I mean, we're still above the 50 and the 200-day moving average. I don't expect this to be a huge pullback, but I think it is definitely time for some consolidation. A lot of these big tech names have had incredible runs. We've had a phenomenal run as well in our investment portfolio and our trading account. And right now we're high stacked on the year, so I'm protecting capital and protecting profits simply because the NASDAQ is in what I classify as a downtrend and closing below that 20-day moving average. Now, moving into next week, we do have a very small short position put on the QQQ. I don't expect that to be a huge winner or loser for us because it's a very small position. But I do think right now the odds do favor a little bit towards the downside. Now moving back over to the S&P 500, the S&P 500 closed in what I classify as no trend. No trend is a close below the 10 period moving average, depending on where, if we're coming out of an uptrend, closing below that 10 SMA classifies as a no trend. Now on Monday, if we close below this low, the S&P would also be in a downtrend. Okay, and we also have this MACD that's curling over. So also one other thing that I want to point out is that it's breaking market structure. And what I mean by that is this recent uptrend that we've had, it's breaking that trend line. So breaking an uptrend line and closing below the 10 SMA with a MACD that's heading down. We don't have a bearish cross yet. This is telling me that is not a very good time to be adding a lot of new exposure. Okay, you don't want to be putting a ton of risk on at this moment in the market. And one of the biggest keys to risk management, a lot of people don't talk about risk management enough, but in my opinion, it's one of the most important factors of becoming a consistently profitable trader. And knowing when to be invested in the market and when to be out of the market is just as important of knowing where your stop loss is going to be and defining the amount of capital you're willing to risk on each trade. Okay, so some of the names that I like going into this next week obviously are bonds. Bonds had price strength confirmation above 168.21. It is moving higher, looks good into next week. The weekly time frame also looks very solid. We're not going to get into that right now. Metals, as you guys know, gold is breaking out. Silver is having an incredible run. We had over a 20% return in our investment portfolio on silver. I mentioned to members, this is price strength confirmation above this 1835, and we put on our position there. And right from that breakout, we had a lot of capital that we were able to accumulate just over a few short days. I actually posted on Twitter. We had a AGQ option, which is triple leverage silver, that went for over 250%. So that was a very nice trade for us. Some of the names that I think could continue to shine are AMD. Now AMD does have earnings on Tuesday. This was one of our trades that we also had a 50% return on AMD just over the course of a day. So that was a very nice trade for us as well. Let's see what else. One of the other bright spots in this market is the oil and gas sector. So names like XOP and MRO and Chevron. These names actually are showing some relative strength. We're seeing some prices closing above the 10 SMA with a positive MACD. So I really wouldn't get too interested until XOP can get above this 55.71. That's a key level for me, and above that, I would likely add maybe Gush. So Gush is the triple leveraged version of that. So Gush is something I'm keeping an eye on. And if you guys are into crypto, it's that season again. So Bitcoin is breaking out above 10,000. I think it could really run up to 15,000. We pretty much anything in this entire space. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, obviously you're not going to be able to go wrong with those. All three of those cryptos are looking excellent. Just wanted to throw that out there. So just to wrap up, once again, the S&P 500, it's in no trend. The NASDAQ is in downtrend. The number one priority for our trading profile is preservation of capital and year-to-date gains when the market enters into no trend and downtrend. And we like to take advantage of these nice uptrends. Nice uptrend. Here's another nice uptrend. And when we get into downtrends, when the market gets choppy, we move the majority of our positions to cash and wait for the next uptrend. So that's what I'm doing right now. Primarily cash, very small short position on the NASDAQ. Obviously, I have this level drawn in here. This would be a key level that I'm watching, 252.76. We start glowing below that. I do think we probably head lower, maybe into this 143, 144 range. So that's what I have going into next week. Stay safe, make sure you're social distancing, and have fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow.